Hello, everyone, once again. This is Rob, and welcome back to Media Awareness and a review. Before I get to that, however, a reminder the fundraiser continues. For those of you new to my channel or unaware, I am a disabled individual and I use a motorized wheelchair slash scooter all day, every day for my independence, and I need your help. My insurance will not cover anything with regard to my scooter as they view it as a quote luxury item end quote, despite the fact that I'm unable to walk whatsoever in addition to being unable to use any other type of scooter or even a standard wheelchair as I only have limited dexterity in one hand. In addition to that, I do not have a backup scooter or wheelchair to rely on. So if this scooter does malfunction, as it recently did, I will yet again be a fish out of the water, a scenario I want to avoid at all costs. With that stated, below the title of this video in the description, as well as in a separate section below the information pertaining to this video, you will find a spot fund link. It is a fundraiser. It's easy to contribute. Takes a few seconds. You can even contribute anonymously. Any and all help is welcome. Even $5 or $10 can make a big difference. The goal of the fundraiser is twofold. It is both intended to continue the ongoing refurbishing of my existing scooter as well as to save to purchase a new scooter. Uh, in recently, I had, as alluded to, I had an issue with my scooter. It had malfunctioned entirely, leaving me stranded basically, and I needed to rely on family and friends to push me around my home, severely limiting my independence. And although I am not 100% independent, I do pride myself on the things I can do. So, with all of that stated, I do want to have the means to continue the refurbishing so that way I can have a backup scooter in place for when the new scooter has any and all problems that do occur with these scooters. My existing scooter is from 2019. It is almost 2025, so I'm definitely due for a new one, and the parts on this model are definitely in need of replacement. So please do what you can. I do want to extend a gracious thanks to those who have contributed thus far, in addition to those who plan on contributing, as your contributions have and will make a world of difference in my life. Thank you all. I love you all. Please consider subscribing to my channel, becoming part of the Media Awareness family. I'd love to have you. Also, like and share and comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this episode of Dune Prophecy, episode 5. We are one episode away. Actually, episode 6 is the final episode of this season of Dune Prophecy Season 1. So that will be premiering tomorrow night. I do apologize for the late posting of this episode 5 review. I've been ill for the past week or so and unable to do any videos, and I'm attempting to catch up on things, so please bear with me. And if I'm not quite myself yet, I should be in a few days, but I will do my best to get this review done and posted for all of you. And I'm going to go through it in my typical fashion, but I'm going to highlight specific plot points and characters as opposed to going through the entire episode scene by scene, just to make things easier on myself and you as well. So I think a good place to start with this episode is the arrival of Sister Francesca at the home of the Emperor on Seleucus Secundus. Um, she is revealed to be Constantine's mother. Now, I really haven't spoken about Constantine much in these reviews. He really didn't seem like a really relevant character initially, and he really doesn't seem to be all that relevant per se. Um, but he did play a rather large role at one point in this episode, so I will get to that in due time. Um, but Lady Francesca had obviously had relations with the Emperor, resulting in the birth of Constantine. Um, the Empress is not fond of her, needless to say, and she's quite annoyed by her sudden presence. And this is all orchestrated, of course, by the Reverend Mother to uh, bring the sisterhood back into the Carino influence, the sphere of influence, so to speak. And we have uh, a lot of politics going on in this particular episode. Um, Overtly and rather um, covertly as well. So it's interesting seeing things play out. Um, and uh, Valia Harkonnen um, is basically staying at the Harkonnen stronghold on Solstice, at least for the time being. And when visited by Francesca, uh, this is when it's not really implied, but basically told that they need to gain a foothold back on the emperor and on the imperium itself, um, and kind of wrestle power away from Desmond Hart, who has really become rather close with the emperor and very highly looked upon by the empress. So Desmond Hart is actually appointed as Bashar, um, and is put in charge of the Emperor's military forces on planet, and he is on a goal, on a mission to uncover the illegal trade that is going on, and uh, specifically alluding to trade of spice, which is taken away from profits, and also any technology, it would seem as well, unauthorized technology, to be precise. And um, this is all going on Seleucus Secundus. I want to focus on this plot line first, and then I will jump to the Sisterhood on Wall of Nine, because I feel like both are important, but this is sort of uh, a good portion of the episode and a lot of what is relevant in terms of politics of what is going on and the sisterhood attempting to wrestle command of the empire back under their control. They also want to be able to have the princess study with them, which will give them another foothold in the family of the emperor as well. So there's a lot at stake here, and Desmond Hart is really causing problems with that, as he does not have any love for the sisterhood. And he, at one point, reveals to the Empress um, that he was, he barely remembered his mother. He was basically abandoned and made to salvage and live his life in poverty, and um, she embraces him and is rather awestruck by him. I think she's awestruck by his power and his ability to survive, even though she really doesn't understand it. I think she sees him as a sign of holiness for them and a way for them to rise up and keep control. And she admires him and finds him rather appealing in all aspects, as they do share a rather passionate kiss, which can be um, suspected to have led to more. We can't be certain on that, but it does sort of allude to that at the end of the episode itself, toward the end, I should say. He um, had led a raid on a known trading post, the nightclub that has been referenced a few times, and one that Kier Atreides, the sword master of House Carino, has been known to frequent along with the princess and lots of people. It's basically an underground sort of trading area, and everyone sort of turns a blind eye to it up until this point. Um, and the woman that runs it is not only a Fremen, but she's also a known sister. And she sets all these traps, explosives, so when Desmond and his men do arrive to raid the place, and she's talking with them, these charges are being set, and Akira Atreides is doing so, um, as she is intended to keep um, Desmond occupied as much as possible. And then he decides to join his men, and Kier and her are able to escape rather closely by the skin of their teeth as the building explodes. And it is only by the luck of the explosions happening and Desmond wearing a shield that he survives this explosion, as he activates the shield just as the explosives are going off behind him. And it was rather smart to do so, because he does survive. And as I stated, that after that is when he's really embraced by the Empress. Um, and during the same time frame, Francesca has been able to once again seduce the Emperor himself and hopefully bring some influence back under the Bene Gesserit rule. Um, and because of her influence there, she's also able to get her son by the Emperor Constantine promoted to a rather um, uh, valiant position in charge of the Emperor's fleet, which is a very prized position. Also, she is able to um, have significant sway over him due to their past relationship. And there is a point where Constantine wants to prove himself. And after chatting with his mother, he decides to be a little bit nosy and finds some technology that the Swordmaster here had left in the training area. And when Kier returns from nearly losing his life, Constantine has him escorted away and put into um, a holding uh, cell, a suspenser prison, basically, um, holding him in place. And the princess comes to visit him and uses her powers, albeit limited, of the sisterhood um, in terms of truth saying. And she asks him pertinent questions to his intentions, and his intentions are good, they are noble, and his feelings for her are true. So she gets her answers, and this is all unfolding on Solution Secundus, as I said. Now, I'm going to jump to Log 9 because on Log 9, uh, there is an exercise being performed with the sisters, and the one sister is growing increasingly frustrated with things, and Tula, Tula Harkon has her swept away and takes her and the girl herself, Jen, uh, believes that she's going to be expelled, but Tula very quickly says, "No, I think that you can help me with something." And she takes her down into the catacombs where um, Lila is, and Lila is very unstable and is able to be calmed by Jen. And um, she, shortly thereafter, is possessed by the past memory of Raquel, who instructs Tula on the fact that the evidence that she brought in, that she was sent by Valia, this sample of blood from um, uh, Desmond, contains a pathogen that was present during the Machine Crusades, and she hasn't seen it since then. So she's working rather rapidly within Lila's body to get the most out of that. And um, that raises a lot of questions, and it also raises questions about Desmond Hart and his connection potentially to the machines, Omnius and Erasmus, and the Machine Crusades themselves, in terms of the Butlerian Jihad and that time frame itself, when Raquel was really fighting her fight against machines. However, toward the end of the episode, at the very end actually, uh, Tula feeds the blood sample into the computer on Log 9 to analyze the blood sample and trace the lineage of the potential parents of Desmond Hart. And in doing so, she uncovers that the blood is that of both Atreides and Harkonnen. Um, Basically, alluding to the fact that Desmond could very well be, and probably is, more than likely, the child of Tula and the Atreides gentleman that she assassinated in her past prior to joining the sisterhood. So that is the brief synopsis of episode 5 of Dune Prophecy, albeit almost a week late. I do apologize once again. I have been ill, and I'm hoping to get a lot more done in the next few days. But I wanted to at least get this out and catch you guys up to speed on Dune Prophecy. What are your thoughts on this episode? Have you seen it? I really recommend the show. I don't know where it's headed, but I am excited to find out. This is Rob with Media Awareness. A reminder the fundraiser continues. Please do what you can. Any and all help us welcome. And I will see you all again soon. Have a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.